Hello and greetings, friends. It's Dr. E here, and I'm here to give you an update on my creating the best version of myself, where I am in that. And I am happy to report that today, June 11th, 2019, I am 14 days post-operative of my tummy tuck surgical procedures. As you know, I had two procedures. I tied in a hysterectomy along with my abdominoplasty surgery. So today, it's a beautiful day in Houston. So I actually had my second surgical post-operative appointment with my plastic surgeon's office, and got some adhesive applied to my wound so that the scar can heal faster and just have a cleaner, tighter heal. Now, last week was exciting that I had, that was actually my first meeting, my first appointment where I had my my drainage tubes removed, and that was truly a very happy day, because you just don't appreciate walking around with two drainage tubes and having to drain that. So that was the beginning of it. And then today I actually drove myself to my appointment. I'm approximately 16 miles from my doctor's office. So I got on the freeway, I drove myself, had my appointment, then had a lovely lunch with a friend of mine, and we were having a great dining experience at a beautiful little cafe here in Houston. Ran some errands, and then when I came home, of course, I could use a nap. I was a little tired by that. So, but just to let you know that this is 14 days out. I am 56 years old. I'm relatively healthy, but I'm moving and shaking. So just to let you know, this could be you if this is something that you're thinking of. Now, I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos just to try to compare my experience with other people that have gone through this. People that are younger, some people that are older, and a lot of people that are my age are also going on this journey. And I want to be really mindful of your time. I hope to offer information that is useful. Now, or information that I wish that I had when I was researching this. Some of the people want to know about the recovery period. Now, obviously, this is not a cakewalk. One of my girlfriends, I'm starting a movement amongst my girlfriends. They're all like, I got next, which I love that. I mean, certainly if this is something you want to do, do it. But if not, then, love the skin you're in. That's sort of where I want to make sure that that's understood. I'm not advocating that everybody that has a role should try to get it removed. If you love your role, love your role. I didn't like mine, and I wanted it to go, but definitely it's not a cakewalk. I told you guys about that incredible anesthesia Versed, which I would highly recommend if you're going to have anything done, to make sure that that's something that they consider, because you just don't really remember anything. I was laughing with one of my girlfriends. I was saying, I was thinking that, once we got to it in the surgical room, if I really wasn't feeling it, that I would say, that's okay, guys, let's go ahead and call this a wrap. I don't want to go through with it. But of course, I don't remember. When I woke up, it was over. So it's not that bad. Now, of course, you're going to have some issues with soreness and stiffness and tightness. I guess that's kind of what the catchword is. You're just walking kind of limped over. I'm a little straighter than I was last week, because last week when I went in there, my doctor was saying, stand up straight, and I kept feeling like something was pulling, and I joked with her. I said, I'm going to strut in here next week, but this week I'm just trying to make it to the car. So this week I did have a bit of a strut. I was by myself. My husband wasn't with me this week, but it gets better. The worst thing is the back pain, which no one had really said anything about. That was just like excruciating. So I did use heating pads and things, and but they want you to walk, but the more you walk, the worse your back felt. So that was one thing that I wasn't prepared for. But even that is gone now. So the only thing now that I'm having is I'm still eating smaller portions, which is good. And I just get really tired. So I don't have my energy level back. And I, we all do a whole lot of things. But when you are recovering from this surgery, make sure you have the time allocated, at least 6 to 8 weeks, where you can just kind of like, woosah and, take things really, really slow and just do little things in small time increments. Like my day, still not sleeping the way that I want to, but, I'll get up, do some things, and then I'll sit down. Get up, do some things, and I sit down. So just pace yourself with this. I have a family cruise that's scheduled the 4th of July weekend. So thank God it's a cruise and that I'm just going to be, sitting there watching the waves go by. But I'm wondering, like, when we get off the boat and everybody's running, trying to get to that excursion, I'm going to be creeping along. But there's some small kids that are coming. So I'm going to be handling the small kids. So that's that. So, all right. So a lot of my friends have been asking me about cost. How much does it cost? And, obviously there's different doctors out there. A lot of people are, going outside the country to have it done. And I've alluded to this. I mean, you kind of get what you pay for. So I've only had one experience, so I can only tell mine. And I will tell you that although I had to be able to pay for it, I really wanted to have the comfort level with my surgeon. So I was able to, do the 2 procedures, which didn't have a huge cost savings, but it did afford me 2 nights in the hospital under my insurance, and some other of my anesthesia was able to move over to my admitting doctor, which was the OBGYN. Now, there are people that are doing the mommy makeover, which includes the breast lift and the tummy tuck, for 10 grand, but they're using it as a day surgery. So you don't get the hospital stay, and which is a lot of care, but you get everything, you get the look. So one of my friends, she's kind of monitoring the progress of a friend that did the mommy makeover for 10 grand here in Houston, and she did not have the hospital stay. Now with my surgeon, with the abdominoplasty, that was $5,000. And then I also did the flanks, which was the liposuction of the flanks, which was $2,500. And I also had liposuction of the bra line, which was $2,500. The real cost was the OR part that I had to pay for at First St. Joseph's, as well as the anesthesiologist for the time that I was under for the part that the plastic surgeon did. The amno for the actual hysterectomy was covered by my insurance. So just to kind of break that down, so out of pocket, I probably paid around $16,000. And, friends are thinking like, oh my God, if I had the money, I would do it. And, I didn't have the money. So I have a different economics when it comes to something that I want. And I'll talk about this in future videos because, ladies, we just can't be sitting around waiting for a landfall to just happen in our laps. If it's something that we want for us, then we have to move towards it. So when you move towards things, according to the economics of Dr. E, I believe that the universe aligns itself and the money is going to be there. So I'll give you just a small story of how things happened for me. So when I went in for my initial consultation, I had a number in mind. Even though I didn't have any of those dollars in my pocket, I had a number in mind, what I thought the procedure should cost. Now, of course, my procedure exceeded that number, and I was quickly trying to figure out, how I was going to make this happen. Now, once I wrap my head around something and it's something that I want, I don't usually sit on it. I move on it. As a matter of fact, I circle and circle it like a vulture, and then I pounce. So I'm that girl. I'm that girl. I see it. I want it. I grind till I own it. So yay, Beyonce. I hear you, girl. So what I did was I knew that I could put some of it on a care credit card, which is that little credit card you get when all of your medical fees don't you can't pay for it, and you don't want any out of pocket. So I went there first, and to see, how much I could get. So I got that, and I was short. So I need to come up with the other part. So I went to my credit union, and I applied for a, I actually applied for a signature loan, and it came back declined. And so I'm like, okay, well, it's not going to come from there, but it's coming from somewhere because it's happening. So I kind of shrugged it off, and I said, it's coming from another source. And so 2 days later, my loan officer called me, and she goes, hey, listen, I need you to come and sign your papers. I'm like, hey, I got that email that said it was declined. And she said, oh, no, well, what I did was I didn't really like, their reviews, so I sent it to someone else, and they said, yay, come on in, sign your papers, and I'm going to make this deposit into your account. So don't fret, ladies. The money is out there. You just need to get your head around, this is what I want. So I had already paid my $1,000 deposit. I knew it was happening even without all the money. So what I'm saying is, if it's something you want, move towards it, even if you only have a portion of it. So anyway, that's how it happened for me. A lot of people are fearful with that type of economics, but it's been working for me. And, I just pretend like I have money, and it works. All right, so today I went in, and I'm walking around and moving around, and I had a compression garment put on last week, which was so tight, and you have to keep it on for 6 weeks. And the only time you get to come out of it is if you're going to shower, and that was another thing. After next week, you got to shower, which was such a wonderful experience, having not been able to do it for a week. But you need to be in this suit all the time. You got to sleep in it. So it's really, really tight. It took 2 women to kind of, hoist me into this thing. And so this week, when she put the adhesion tape on my wound, she said, well, you need to be out of the suit for 2 weeks. And I'm like, wow. I mean, not 2 hours. I'm sorry. 2 hours you need to be out of it. And so I felt kind of jiggly. I'm like, this feels kind of, loose. And she goes, well, you're shrinking. I'm like, shrinking? I mean, I'm really happy that the roll is gone, but she said that, yeah, you're going to be shrinking, and your skin gets really, really flaky. I mean, I oiled this skin down, and it still looks like, I don't know, like I'm shedding skin like a snake. And she goes, well, that happens. That's normal. That's because you're shrinking. Your body has gone through a lot of trauma, and you still have a lot of swelling. Well, I'm in clothes that I really haven't been able to get in several years. So the fact that I'm swole and I'm in clothes that I haven't been able to be in for some period of time is just like gravy. So I don't know what size you actually end up being. You really, really can't eat a lot. When we went for lunch, I was only able to eat like half my salad, and then I'll eat the other half for dinner. So your eating changes. Obviously, you're watching everything you eat, but you really, really can't eat a lot. And so I had to get a smaller size in this compression suit. So now I have to squeeze in another suit and see how that's gonna work. Because it took a few days for me to feel comfortable in the first suit, but now I'm in a smaller one. So you keep working on compressing yourself to help with your healing. So hopefully I'm giving you information that you guys can use. As it comes to what our topic is for these past videos, which is the plastic surgery. You do need to commit to this. This is not something you want to take lightly. It's a huge financial investment, and it's a pretty big surgery. I did not want to wait until I was 60 to have this surgery. Now, the mommy makeover comes with the breast lift. I certainly didn't need implants, but it also comes with the breast lift, which gives you more of a perky appeal. Now, some of my friends are really into it, and and I started getting into it too, but it wasn't my primary focus. I just wanted a smoother look so that I could just feel better about myself and wear clothes that I just hadn't been able to get into. So the breasts weren't really that big of a thing for me. And then here's what was the killer. So you do get a new belly button. So whatever you had before, they're going to reconstruct it and give you a new one. And mine isn't bad, it's a belly button. But as far as your nipples, they actually remove those when they do the uplift, put in some incisions, lift everything up, move tissue around, and then they give you new nipples. I'm kind of attached to mine. I mean, they don't bother me. I like them. I've had them for 56 years, and if she could put these back on, and we haven't had that question, that conversation yet. I might be a little bit more considerate of that surgery, but I certainly didn't want to do it now because there is the gravitational hold that kicks in. And she said that, they're probably going to be perky for about 9 years. So I figure if I do undergo another plastic surgery and go for the breast lift, I may opt to do that maybe when I'm 58, 59, and then I'll be perky till I'm 70. So that's sort of where my mind is about the breast. And, I may just let that go altogether. But the part that I have, I'm so happy with. And I've been looking at a lot of videos, and ladies, I haven't found one yet where someone said, I wish I hadn't done it. The only thing people have said is that I wish I hadn't done it sooner. And maybe that's where I am now. I wish I hadn't done it sooner. But thank God I did it when I did it. So if there's any other questions, please subscribe or just shoot me an email and I will try to answer those on the next video. But I am moving forward out of, and not so much about the tummy tuck. I mean, obviously I'll still be telling you about that, but we're going to talk more about, creating your best version. So obviously part of your version is your body and your body image. Granted, there's some things that you just have to deal with. I mean, nature is nature, but there's some things that, you can tweak. And if you have an option to tweak, by golly, tweak it, do something about it. You don't have to just accept things the way they are. And so I'm going to talk about different things about aging that we have power over. The whole thing, my whole purpose for this series of videos is to empower you to be your best you. So until then, keep creating, guys, recreating, reinventing. Just be your best version. Take care.